whatever you wind up doing is exactly what you should be doing.
And I have not behaved one single day of my life. Not one day of my life have I behaved, and I am fine.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're going to hurt some people.
Whose car are we going to take?
Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show, and thank you for my birthday balloons, Kim McAllister. Thank you. Yes, it was a very nice start to my birthday day. It's been a birthday week. I'm just, I feel like I finish out the month of wanting special things. It was so funny, Kim, last night, because it was the day before my birthday. I was exhausted because I was working up at KCBS at the dark 30. As I'm like sitting here, I'm like, you know what? And I don't normally drink during the week anymore. I've told you guys this. But I was like, it's my last day at 45. So I had one drink last night. But then I handed the cup to for my husband to make me the fakey one that just has club soda and ginger beer in it. Yeah. He kind of gave me a look, and I'm like, it's pretty much my birthday. You're going to have to do it for me.
Fill her up. It's my birthday drink.
I'm going to pull this card for the rest of the day. So thank you, guys. Thank you. And thank you so much for Joanne, even before the show starting. $5. Happy birthday, Nikki, to you and me. Happy birthday, Joanne.
Oh, Joanne.
I'll be celebrating my birthday, so I'll miss your show. I hope you have a wonderful day. Well, happy birthday to you. Go do fun things.
Happy birthday, Joanne.
Go do all of the fun things. Thank you for the donation as well. And Pamela, also coming in with a $10 donation. Pamela, I hope you got my email. I wish you the best of luck on your trip that you have coming up next month. Please be safe. But thank you so much for the $10 donation. So, yeah, it's my birthday. It started off very, very nicely. I got up not at 2:00 in the morning. So that was a benefit. And then I took a nice shower. And then my kids are so funny. They're getting ready to go to school. And finally they're like, come out of your room. And they had decorated the kitchen in purple balloons and banners. And it was so funny because
so sweet.
It was really sweet. It's gorgeous with a big lily. No, not a lily, an orchid on the table. And I got a nice, cozy, comfy robe because my robe is janky.
That's
and
nice.
Like I've had it forever. And it's funny because I'm standing. I was like, well, do you want me to wait to open the gift until Dad gets home? Because he had already left for work. And then they're like, he's here. And I was like, no, he's not. He left for work. We have a Ring camera in the hallway of our house. So he was like spying on us from the end of the hallway and watching and wishing me happy birthday. So
that's cute.
Technically, everybody was there. But yeah, a lot of birthdays. It's somebody, SF Tesla. So yeah, I already knew about Hillary Clinton.
I didn't know about that. Natalie Merchant.
Let's see. CW Post, Jackie Coogan, Hot Rod Huntley, basketball. You know who else? Seth MacFarlane, also born today. Oh. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are October 26th birthdays. Yeah, Uncle Fester too. Happy birthday. Thank you, Linda. Thank you. Uncle Fester, the actor that played Uncle Fester. Also birthday today. Thank you guys. Honestly, it's going to be, of course, this is America. So it doesn't matter that it's my birthday. There's just going to be tragic stories all over the time. Yeah. We are closely following, of course, what's happened in Maine. They had an update this morning. Kim will, of course, be updating us during the news updates.
I have to take the balloons off to talk about this one because that's just not festive,
crazy.
Right?
You know what's crazier? And besides, obviously, the horrific crime, that I woke up this morning and they still didn't catch the guy. And I'm like, where is he? And I don't know much about Maine. Someone had mentioned our good pal, Brian, in the comments earlier. First person I thought of, Kim, you said the same. I had to Google, like, where Brian lives in comparison to the town where this tragedy happened. And yeah, he's not far, but he's not close. So not too bad. But yeah, it's another day in America. I don't want to be flippant about it, right? Yeah. I don't want to not discuss it. I think, the stuff that we're learning about him. Oh, thank you, Brian, for the $18 donation. I'm not going to say the word because I'll butcher it. That's happy birthday in Hebrew, Nikki, and love to both of you. Thank you, Brian, so much.
That's really nice.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's just one of these things where Do we say his name? Do we not say his name?
How do you say
you know,
thank? I wonder how do you say thank you in Hebrew?
How do you say thank you in Hebrew, Brian? I know there's a bunch of. I know. Gracias. I say danka. Right? Danka is thank you,
Yeah,
right?
that's in German.
What else? Grazie. I know grazie.
Italian, yeah.
That's pretty much as far as it goes for me. Do you know any other languages for thank you?
Mahalo.
Oh, mahalo. There you go. Mahalo.
Mahalo in Hawaiian.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
On that note, do you know a lot of people are like going to Hawaii right now? I know so many people that are going to Hawaii right now.
Yeah.
It's
They
fine,
need
though.
They need the business.
They need the business.
they
Not
need
necessarily
the-
Maui. Some of them are going to Maui, but a lot of people are traveling to Hawaii right now. Anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent.
Sorry.
We are going to update the stuff on Maine. This morning, I think the number tragically is 18 and so many more people injured. The fact that we live in a country in which you can't even go bowling or go to a bar and grill and not wonder what's going to happen is sad. And again, they're not going to do anything about it. Congress isn't going to do anything about it. Let's see. I made a list, Kim. In Maine, they don't require background checks. They don't have the red flag law. They have not banned assault weapons, or they don't limit magazine capacity. They require concealed carry permits, but they restrict open carry, and they do have a waiting period. So let's, do that. They do not prevent domestic abusers from accessing guns. And I was seeing a bunch of stuff like this guy's a gun nut. He lives on a compound with his family. Of course, people want to bring politics into it. I don't want to do any of those things. And the reason why I don't want to do any of those things is because you can be a Trump supporter. You can own a lot of guns, right? Still not go to a bowling alley and shoot people up, right? I feel like we make these knee-jerk reactions that become Groundhog's Day about everything. What is politics? Oh, he's a Trump supporter. There was one article I read, Kim, where they're like, he follows a Trump page and then this, that. Do you know how many things I follow simply because I do the show? Right? Oh, I gotta follow Fox News, or I gotta follow this wackadoo because I want to know what's going on. I would hate for someone to judge. And again, I'm judging this guy, but I'm just saying, like, following certain things and doing those things, you can have a person following identical things and not do what this guy did. This guy was out of his mind, is out of his mind. Is there kind of a connection between owning way too many guns, killing animals, because he's apparently a big hunter, those sorts of things, perhaps. But I also know people that do all those things and aren't.
And they're fine, right?
And they're fine. So I just want to be fair when we talk about these. You know what happened? This guy is insane.
Yeah.
This guy's insane. And I'm not gonna try to point to certain things that make it, we need to freaking make it harder to get guns. I would love for the red flag laws to be universal. Apparently he had been, I don't know if in a mental institution or something like that. There was a mental health call, but still had his guns, still had access to guns. It's the guns. I don't know how many more times I have to say this.
He was a military-trained firearms instructor, trained by the U.S. military, member of the U.S. Army Reserve, and recently had been referred to or put into a mental health facility.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, it's, and then people are like, well, we have to, and this is where I will bring politics into it. Oh, we have a mental health problem in this country. Really? Because look at what the GOP have voted against in funding, right? And I've said this, I'll say it before, I'll say it again. Mental health should be just like any other health of your body. It should be covered by your health insurance 100%. Okay? Like, if we have a mental health problem, we should be throwing money at mental health facilities, colleges. We should be, even though I would say it falls obviously under STEM, we should be enticing people to get into this field. We should be doing research, right? Mm-hmm. Just like we do the moonshots with cancer and COVID.
Yeah.
Like, we need to take away the stigma of it. The pilot, and I know I was gone, and I know, Kim, you talked about it, the pilot that tried to shut off the engines. The catch-22 of being a pilot and being depressed is he can lose his job. If you create a system in which if and when you experience a mental health condition, you can't report it because you could lose your career that you love, then obviously you've created a system in which people will not disclose that. Obviously. Yeah. It's not hard to understand that. And I will say this because I'm just, and I know that you guys talked about it. I was almost in tears watching that guy when he showed up in court to plead not guilty, which his lawyer did for him.
The pilot guy?
The pilot guy.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at his face and you almost killed like all these people. So I'm not saying he shouldn't face, prison or whatever. But when you hear like he hadn't slept, the magic mushrooms, I'm like, you should not fly planes and take magic mushrooms 2 days before, but whatever. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he's depressed, so many people suffer from depression. So many people wake up, hear what happened in places like Maine, look at our politics and the divisions in our country. Believe me, on my birthday, the first thing I say when I wake up today, and like I do, is I say thank you. And sometimes I feel it, and sometimes it takes me a hard time to get to that emotion because things can be so depressing. And so then if you start really going down that spiral, it's not hard. It's not hard to be like, I don't know, between climate change and mass shootings and politics and schools and everything, it could be heavy to live in this world. And so for you to be a pilot and not get help, because on top of all of that, you could lose your job. We've created a system where we don't care. We, as a society, through our taxes, through, political movement or inaction, we don't value it. We like to speak in sound bites. We have to do something about mental health. Well, then show me as a country, the way you vote, who you vote for, what they say, what they do, what they pass. That shows me whether you truly believe that this is a crisis of this country. Otherwise, it's just lip service. That's it. It's just lip service. So, again, we'll follow the very latest with the newest mass shooting in America. And we hope and pray that they catch this guy. Schools are on lockdown. I mean, my God, I can't even imagine. Yeah. You were saying Maine's not that big. So, I mean, I can't imagine that there's too many degrees of separation between people who live in Maine and somebody that's been impacted by the shooting. I'm assuming. So our prayers go out to them because that's all apparently we can do in this country when it comes to mass shootings.
No offense, because that's nice that you say you're praying for them, but that's not what they need.
No, well, that's all they're going to get, though, Kim. Yeah, and I hate to be such a negative Nancy about it, but that is all this Congress will be able to do. I mean, I think they had talked to Chuck Schumer. I think that he didn't even mention it. Like he's like, I'm not even going to waste the oxygen to say what I say after every mass shooting. The Congress needs to do something. Or we've lowered the flags to half staff. We do all of these things, except the things that need to be done. So last night they said the numbers I read were 22 people killed and 60 injured. They've downgraded that this morning. Not that it's 18, right?
18 people were killed, 13 injured in this shooting. This guy, Robert Card, is armed and dangerous. They're looking for him everywhere. Yeah. And it's what you said about how can someone, and we know with this type of incident, people that, open fire like this often have a history of domestic violence. They have a history of saying something. They have a history of being angry, right? And so why was he allowed to keep his weaponry? Why? And
because they don't want to take it away because nobody wants to do that. They don't have the system in place to do that. Or they're supposed to take it away. I mean, we see it here in California. This person's not supposed to have a gun. The judge asks him, do you have a gun in your home? He says, no. That's the end of the freaking conversation. Like, I'm sorry. Could he possibly be lying? Like, yeah, the system is not set up to remove guns from people that don't have it. It's just not.
And to your point, if you say, well, we have a really big, insurmountable mental health problem in this country, right? It's a really big problem. We need to put money into mental health, and the problem isn't guns. The problem is mental health. Well, okay, let's go with that. Mm-hmm. Say you have a mental health problem in this country. You want the people that are suffering to have weapons? No. And so those two policies have to be in line with each other, because you can't have a country full of people who are on the brink of depression or all out bipolar or whatever it is. And I'm not saying everyone with mental health issues is not capable of, wants to hurt others, right?
Exactly.
I mean, you can have mental health issues and be a normal person.
Yes.
And be a person.
It is normal nowadays. That seems to be our normal. It's like everyone
who
has
isn't
a little
depressed,
bit. Exactly.
Right? But you can suffer from mental health issues and not want to hurt other people.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, if we have a mental health problem, the last person you want to put a gun into their hands is someone who's feeling like life ain't worth living, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. SJ Lola says the guy's probably in Canada by now. I think I just saw Massachusetts. They're thinking he's in Massachusetts. He's moving. Believe me, you cannot turn on your phone or TV or radio and not hear your name. So, but again, it's Yep. And Randy, you're absolutely correct. Saying it's a mental health issue is just an excuse to not do anything about the gun problems. Absolutely. Because it is both. I mean, but there's mental health issues all around the globe, right? Here, though, there is so many guns. It's like, I just don't get it. If there was one person in one room and that person was having a mental breakdown or had mental health issues, I don't know anyone that'd be like, you know what, I'm going to add to this room? A gun. But that's what we do to this entire country, is that we've made it so easy to have guns to protect the law-abiding citizens that should be able to own guns, which doesn't make any sense. It's like, but we have a problem we need to deal with. But whatever. The reason I'm so frustrated is, one, it's my birthday and I don't like being angry on my birthday, but I will be because this is tragic. But two, nothing is going to be done about it.
No.
And nothing is going to be done about it. So why? I don't want to be apathetic. I don't want to be like, I want to keep up the fight, but that's why I vote for people that believe the way I do, believe in common sense gun reform. And we just lost the late Senator Dianne Feinstein. She was able to do as a freshman senator what nobody has ever been able to do since, which is pass an assault weapons ban. Now it's sunset. That's how she got it passed. And nobody's had the balls to reinstate it, even though we saw a significant drop in these types of crimes. But we have a Washington Congress full of either people that bow down to the NRA and the 2A, or just don't have the numbers to get anything done. So that's why I'll keep voting. Vote, people. You have to vote. That's the only way to get things done. All right. Let's do some more headlines. And then when we come back, I want to switch gears and bring this close to home. I was kind of giggling about this story. I just want to lighten things up. Sorry, people. About Oakland and what they want to do to stop car break-ins. Okay. Now, social media is always in the news, right? Meta's getting sued. TikTok's going to get sued by California for the mental health of children. Speaking of mental health. And you know what? I'm all for it. If you could I've said this before and I say it again, even though I'm on YouTube and I use social media, if you could take it out of my kids' hands, like I could, like they would never be able to see it at school, on their friends' phones or anything. Like if it did not exist, I'd be so happy, but that's never going to happen. But Oakland's looking at social media in a different way. And they're looking at it as a way to stop or catch, let's just say, catch car thieves. And I'll play you a little bit of the explanation and then you tell me, do you think that this is actually going to work? Now, they do admit, and I'll give them this, we don't know if it's going to work. I think that there is a much easier way of doing this, and I'm confused on why it's just not done on a mass scale. Because it doesn't seem that difficult. It doesn't seem like it needs that many police officers necessarily. And I really feel like that this is the answer. So that's just a long way of saying people should just listen to me and my ideas, because I don't think this one's going to work. So we'll talk about that. Jefferson Graham is also coming up in the second part of the show. He's back from his trip. Nova Scotia. I think we're going to be showing a little bit of a teaser of that. So we'll talk about that. We have so much more. It's the birthday show. I thank all of you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Now some more headlines with Kim.
Now from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
Yeah, as Nikki was mentioning, 18 people are dead and 13 others injured after this mass shooting in Maine last night. Police now are still looking for the suspected shooter, 40-year-old Robert Card, officials saying he should be considered armed and dangerous. 3 of the injured are reported to be in critical condition. Meanwhile, California Governor Gavin Newsom is reacting to this shooting in the state of Maine. He posted on X, "Our hearts are heavy and we need immediate action." He went on to criticize state lawmakers, pointing out that Maine rejected a bill this year that would have required a waiting period for firearm purchases. Senate leaders are mourning the lives lost in Maine as well. New York Democrat Chuck Schumer saying the nation grieves with the people of Lewiston, adding he prays that there's no more bloodshed. Kentucky Republican Mitch McConnell called it senseless violence, said he hopes authorities soon bring the suspect to justice. The United Auto Workers Union celebrating a tentative agreement with Ford. The agreement could signal the beginning of the end of the strike against Detroit's big 3 automakers. It's been going on since September.
I know.
More than 40,000 workers have walked off the job since the UAW went on strike, demanding higher wages, better benefits. Workers remain on strike against Stellantis and GM.
You know, the SAG-AFTRA are supposed to restart talking again today. It was delayed today. I get updates because we're part of the union, and but I'm not an actor, so it's not the same thing. But yeah, they're like, don't believe everything you see in the press. We are hoping that this is the end. They need more time apparently to respond to the latest offer. Do we know anything about the UAW's offer or any details? Because they were asking for a lot.
Particulars. I know they were asking for a lot. So yeah.
I'm curious. Like they're not going to give too many details because you don't want to see how the sausage is made because then nothing gets done. If you let everybody know every negotiation, of course. But I hope for the actors, I really hope that there's a lot of AI protection. I hope that they're not able to use AI in perpetuity, and use their image. And I hope for the auto workers, they have the same type of protection against automation, and they do need a significant pay raise. I'm sorry. They just do. 40%.
That's a lot. That was asking
for the moon, man among the stars type of thing.
Right.
So we'll see.
While U.S. Marshals continue to search for the man suspected of gunning down a judge in Maryland last week, a GoFundMe page has been set up for the suspect's former family. It's seeking donations to help Pedro Argote's ex-wife and 4 young children. Argote was ordered by Judge Andrew Wilkinson to have no contact with them, citing years of abuse during a divorce proceeding the day he allegedly shot Judge Wilkinson. Mexican officials say at least 27 people were killed by Hurricane Otis this week. The storm slammed into Acapulco overnight on Wednesday. I mean, it wasn't even really on a lot of people's radar. It was a tropical storm.
Yeah.
And then it picked up steam when it, got to the warm water. And all of a sudden, this Category 5 hurricane caused severe damage, flooding streets, cutting off communications throughout Acapulco. So, yeah, they're in a bad way there right now.
I've read one headline. They're like, it's completely destroyed. It's like, I mean, especially when you're not prepared for it, right? So, Acapulco. That's a word I have a very difficult time saying. So you say it quite well.
Acapulco.
Yeah, it's very hard. My mouth hates it, so I'm not going to say it.
Sounded pretty good to me. I don't know.
I was concentrating. I can't say it in a sentence.
Birthday, Acapulco.
Acapulco.
Well, we hope they're doing okay in Acapulco for sure.
Exactly.
Tragedy unfolding in San Jose. This is where a pregnant woman and her baby were killed in a hit and run. Police say the 21-year-old slammed into a stolen car Tuesday night that may have been speeding near Blossom Hill Road and Winfield Boulevard. 2 men inside ran off. Doctors were able to save the baby, emergency C-section, but only for a few hours because it suffered internal bleeding. So mother dies, baby dies.
I thought the baby lived.
No.
Yeah, that's right by Oak Ridge Mall. That's like literally right at the mall. So you can only imagine maybe she was, shopping for her baby. That's another story that gets me all freaking weepy. I can't even imagine. I just can't imagine.
Can you though? I mean, here you are, you're 8 months pregnant. She was 8 months pregnant. And you're driving along in the evening, probably headed home. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, these two guys in a stolen car nail your vehicle.
Yeah.
And I mean, just
That's
like 1 minute you're fine and the next minute party
You're
over.
gone. You're gone. And I know that that's like, I'm not being flippant.
Yeah.
Like that is life for so many people. One day, I don't think anybody, unless you're really old or sick or something like that, really thinks I'm gonna die today, right? So of course but when you're so like, I think everybody puts themselves, just like you said, Kim, in the woman's shoes. It's just like, yeah, I am excited, probably. Maybe I'm tired. I'm planning for this new life, that's going to come into this world, and boom, some asshats that stole a car and then take off. It's just the disrespect. Everything from Maine to this, the disrespect of the value of a living, breathing human being and their ability to just go to the mall, go bowling, do what but no, you selfish bastards. It's awful.
Well, San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan says he's very angry because there are too many avoidable accidents like this one.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks.
Meanwhile, over in the East Bay, police in Oakley think they've got the man wanted for killing a 16-year-old at a house party. 18-year-old suspect arrested yesterday. His bail's been set at $1 million. Officers responded to a noise complaint last weekend, and 30 minutes later, shots were fired. 4 teens hit. 3 of them survived it. Marion Tucker of Brentwood died at the scene. Police say they're still looking at who else may have been involved there.
Yeah, those responsible gun owners keeping their guns away from teenagers who should not have them. Great.
And you know what's crazy about that one is the officers went out there on the noise complaint.
Right.
Asked the homeowner, hey, do you need us to help you break up the party?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, thank you. It's fine. Well,
always have the cops break up the party. I mean, back in my day, if the cops came, that was the end of the party.
That was it. Everyone's like in the car trying to get out.
You didn't have to wait. Like it was just like, I mean,
yes.
I remember one party. My best friend who lives in Idaho was at her house. I mean, the cops, I'll never forget this. The cops came in with their flashlights and we had a DJ. It was a total house party and they're flashing their flashlights. But because it was dark in the room, we couldn't see that they were cops. And we're everyone's yelling at them to put the flashlights down. It didn't go over well. I mean, no one got arrested or anything, but that's not the way that you want to welcome police officers into your house.
Omaha police detectives continue to look into 3 Southwest Omaha robberies, including an assault that investigators say involved a suspect with a hammer. The crimes reported Monday night, 1 person injured there. In all 3 cases, witnesses and victims provided the same description of a suspect wearing a white Halloween mask. Witnesses from the first incident described the mask as being a Michael Myers-style mask. That's not scary. I mean, really? God. People freak the hell out of me. You're muted. You're muted, my friend.
That's the last image you have is of that
right
mask? That's crazy.
A group of medical experts, speaking of Halloween, is urging adults to lock up their marijuana edibles before their kids go trick-or-treating this Halloween.
Oh, stop. No. Oh, okay, go ahead.
As my friend Ingayo Bilam says, keep your special things up with mommy's wine.
Exactly.
Don't keep it down.
How does it slip into a child's bag? This is what I just don't understand.
Members of a group called Trainees for Child Injury Prevention are urging parents to treat edibles just like prescription medication. Yes. Pediatrician Dr. Andrew Kirigu of Children's Minnesota says some edibles look just like candy and present a hazard to children who may confuse it for Halloween treats. He says edibles should be kept in locked medicine cabinets, difficult to open containers, keep kids safe year round. Who doesn't know that?
I don't understand. Well, but we have morons in this world. So
we have morons. Welcome, morons.
Welcome, morons. Yeah. It should be in your no drawer. You know what I mean? That's the parents' drawer. Do parents not have that?
You have a no drawer? What's in there, Nikki? What you got?
Don't you want to know? No, this is the parents' room. You don't go in you don't keep it in the kitchen. You don't keep it with the food. You keep it in your room, away from your children, up high. I just don't get it. I don't understand.
No, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. I still am interested in what you keep in your no drawer. No. Don't touch that drawer. No.
Well, it's no for kids. It's yes for me. So.
All the good stuff right in there. That's right. There is a new installment, lastly, of the Hunger Games franchise. Did you know
No,
this?
no.
Not done yet. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
It
no, never
is-
mind. I'm mixing this up with the other one. I'm confusing it with not Hunger Games, the other book that came out around the same time. This one I'm excited about. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is the Hunger Games franchise, and this new installment is expected to make around $50 million in its first weekend.
Yes.
It's called The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and it's a prequel that takes place 64 years before the events of the original films. Who's in it? You ask? I'll tell you. Rachel Zegler, Tom Blythe, Peter Dinklage, love him.
love
Hunter
him.
Schafer, Viola Davis is in it. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes hits theaters November 17th.
You want to know the funniest thing right now?
What?
This is such a small world. Okay, so this microphone, this desk is a little low, and so the book that I have is literally the Ballad
of
Songbird and
Songbirds?
Snake.
So cool.
So good. This is such a good book. I read it a long time ago, but I use it to kind of to bring up my microphone. This is the book. So I've been telling my husband to read it. Like, it is so good, and it's about President Snow. And I am so freaking excited about it. So freaking excited.
Ooh, so that's
Yeah,
cool. I can't wait
it's
to
really
hear
good.
what Tim Sika has to say too.
I know.
My
When does it
book-
come out?
November 17th.
Okay. Cool.
My book club just selected a new book to read, and it is called Tom Lake.
Tom Lake.
It's a book by Anne Patchett. So that's the new book I'm looking for. I have to go buy that and read it.
I'm reading The Silent Wife. Don't ask me the author. I apologize. I'm reading that right now. My friend gave it to me. Just because, and don't judge me, but I am going to listen to the audiobook of Britney Spears' book, The Woman in Me, simply because apparently Michelle Williams, fabulous actress, voices it, like does the
Oh.
audiobook. And there's one clip that's been going viral where Britney Spears tells the story of walking with Justin Timberlake when they were together, and he sees Genuine, who's obviously Black. And I guess Justin starts speaking like a Black person
Oh,
to
Justin.
Genuine, but then Michelle Williams voice acting of
Oh
that
my God, that's
is
funny.
epic, apparently. So, but anyways, I'm totally enthralled with Britney Spears. The other day, I think yesterday, one of the radio stations was just playing all Britney for like an hour, and I forgot how many songs I know. So there you go. You guys know I'm obsessed. So
We just finished with the book club book that was my selection, and it really wasn't very good.
Oh, no.
It's just all about rich people, and I'm sorry, but I just didn't relate to their problems.
Right.
It's called Pineapple Street. Don't read it.
oh, I think you were telling me about that.
Don't
yeah.
bother. Yeah.
I will always recommend Green Lights. If anybody, guys know that I'm obsessed with Matthew McConaughey, but I will always recommend Green Lights is a good book. It's like a memoir type of thing and stuff like that. But it's a really good book. I've read it almost twice now. So
Very good.
that's a good one.
This report is sponsored by you.
It
And
is.
that means we do rely on you to help us fund the show. Find us at thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com. Patreon's there, PayPal's there. Also, you can find a link to the merchandise shop there,
Yes.
thenikkimedoroshop.com. But the website, thenikkimedoroshow.com. Either way you type it in, you're going to get to a good place. I'm Kim McAllister on this, the birthday edition
The birthday.
of the Nikki Medoro Happy Birthday Showgram.
Thank you for everyone wishing me a happy birthday. Also, click the thumbs up button to show your support of the show. We absolutely appreciate it. It helps us out. YouTube loves it. And yeah, it is my birthday, the big 4-5. Kim, if I had to ask you what age you mentally feel like most of the time, what would you say your current age?
25.
Same. I still feel like sometimes I look around and I can't believe that like I'm still keeping all the balls in the air. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
like,
no,
am I in charge? Like I'm like my parents are going to take me out to lunch today. Oh shoot, who's calling me? Freaking sorry about that.
Somebody. No, I
My
look in the
phone, I don't know how
mirror.
to get my phone to stop being on my computer, but whatever.
Sometimes I mean, I feel like me. You know how your
Yeah.
internal dialogue, and
Yes.
you just feel like yourself, and then you catch a glimpse of yourself walking past a mirror or a big window, and you're like, "Who the f is that lady?
You're like
Come
Who's that?
on now."
Well, no, like every time. So my parents are going to take me out to lunch as they always do for my birthday.
Nice.
And they always make the same joke. They're like, "You're getting old." And then I look back at them and I go, "Well, if I'm old, and you're really old, right?
Mhm.
But every time I go out with my parents, I'm telling you, I feel like I'm a kid. Like I feel like I'm still in my 20s. Like, and it's hard for me to grasp that I'm 45. And I know 45 is not old. I know I'm not on my deathbed. I feel good. I still have all, I'm still able to move. Again, I wake up in the morning. I woke up this morning and I laid in bed and I said, thank you for everything. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my family, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, sometimes I look around and I'm like, how am I the one that's in charge? I was like, I
Yeah.
just don't get it. I really don't, but I'm happy to have been alive for 45 years. And so yeah, thank you for everyone for being here for the birthday show. And a reminder, tomorrow's the day. I'm going to be going to San Francisco to the Red Jack Saloon, probably in the 6 o'clock hour. I'll confirm. I'll look at I'm going to confirm with my husband whether or not he wants to drive or take the train. I think he still wants to take the train. And so we'll look at the train, times and get up there. But if you guys are around, come on out. So the Red Jack Saloon, I'm going to give the box, the mystery box, to the winner, and we'll have a couple Medoro mules and have a good time.
So cool. Natalie says, I felt like I've been 30 since I was 17. I'm 45 now. I still feel 30.
There you go. 30's your age. I still feel like, and maybe it has to do, and I don't know if this is true, but because I've been with my husband since I was a teenager, or I've known him since I was a teenager, there's this constant feeling like we're fooling everybody, babe. Like, I don't know.
How'd they let the kids out into a house?
The kids? Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we're the kids. And now, like, we're in charge. And I mean, obviously, I love doing life with my husband, but I think that also is this mental game where all of the memories we have, so many of them are when we were younger. And so I don't know. I absolutely love every year. I love telling people I'm 45. I am not, will never be in the camp of being like, I'm 29. No, I am 45. Trevor, star in Hollywood, $25. Happy birthday, Nikki. Congratulations on turning 25 years old. I enjoy turning 25 so much. I've been doing it every year for a very long time. I hope you do the same. I am 45. I love that 25 though. But no, I like to say it because you know why I like to say it? Because I love people saying, you're 45. And I go, yes, I'm 45. You don't look 40. I go, I know. It's because I'm short. Harry, thank you.
That's
$5
so nice.
donation. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah. What?
You know what I love is I have my sister. So we're 7 years apart. All right. That's a pretty big chunk.
That's okay. Like, yeah. That's
and we'll be
significant.
standing together at some gathering and people will find out that we're so far apart in age and they'll say, oh, which one's older? I'm older.
Be insulted.
And I love, and she knows it. And every time someone's like, "Oh, which one of you is the older one?" And I give her like
cannot tell.
Elbow to the ribs, like, "Look at that!
Yeah,
Guess
exactly.
what?
See?
Somebody's looking good over here."
No, I'm telling you, there might be some of you that know who my mother is, but my mother looks great. And I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
For her age, she looks, and we look extremely alike. And so every day, oh my God, you look just like your mother. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, she is my mother. But yeah,
you're gonna look like that until old age.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. So hopefully I will look just like this when I am her age.
Right.
Thank you, Spencer, for the $5 donation. You guys are great. I didn't feel old until I learned a few weeks ago I'm going to be a grandmother.
Congratulations.
Don't feel old.
That's awesome.
Okay, I'm only 45 and my kids are way too young to have children. Way too young to have children. Way too young to have children. But I was watching Gilmore Girls and there was a baby on the screen and I am telling you, like, I get why grandparents are like, give me the baby, because I don't want babies. I want them to be your baby that I can hand back when they cry, and then I could just hold it and smell it and love it, and then give it back when it's pooping.
SJ Lola, this is going to be wonderful. Congratulations!
Congratulations! That is just so awesome.
Keep us abreast of what's going on and when the baby's born and everything.
I'm excited.
Brian says my oldest child is 45, and I can't believe that.
Thank you. You're just like my parents. Exactly. Like I look at my mom and my dad. I'm like, you have. I mean, I'm the youngest that they have. I'm the baby.
Yeah.
Don't call me old. Jim, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. That's so awesome.
Do we already say thank you to Spencer?
Thank you to Spencer as well for the $5. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Murphy, my girl. Happy birthday, Nikki. My birthday is Sunday. I was going to send this birthday present for my birthday tomorrow, but the more the merrier, right? Love you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Mwah. Thank you
nice.
so much, Murphy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, let's talk a little.
One more.
Our friend Sam. Sam, are you going to come out to the bar tomorrow? Happy birthday, Nikki. Thank you for the $20 donation. Wait till you turn 50. You'll feel like 20, not 25. Great job, Nikki and Kim. Thank you, guys.
really
Thank
sweet.
you, Sam,
Yeah.
so much. Yeah, and again,
Love it.
tomorrow, Red Jack Saloon, Friday evening. Come on out. Say hi to Lori above the bar. I'm going to give the box. Please, I'd love to see as many as you as you can. I'm not going to be out there all night long, but I will definitely let you know when I am. And so if you're in the neighborhood, come by and say hi. Spencer's gonna have a nephew soon.
That's exciting. You know what? When when there's a new life brought into the family, it's really exciting. I think for everyone in the family.
Yeah,
I think it's cool.
It is. It's absolutely cool. JR, $45. Happy birthday, Nikki. See you at the saloon. Yay!
Nice.
Okay, now
Excellent.
you guys are gonna have to wear. I don't know. Should I have name tags? Should I bring name tags? I don't know. I mean, I would assume that you guys know what I look like, but I don't know what all of you look like. And so you're going to have to come up to me and then say the name that you use on YouTube.
Right. You can't say, oh, my name is Paul, but I go by JR.
Or whatever. Exactly. Like
you say JR, we'll know you. Right.
Who you are. Yeah. But come say, well, obviously, I would hope that you would come to the saloon and come say hi to me. That would be awesome. But yeah, thank you so much, JR. That's very generous of all of you guys. So much. Judy says, my dad just turned 87. I asked him whether it bothers him that I never gave him grandchildren. He said it doesn't bother him. He's okay with it, which was such a relief to me. Yeah. I mean, I always find there are children in people's lives, even if they're not blood related, right? I mean, your friends' kids, your neighbor kids. I mean, if you want to be around kids, you can, be a big brother, big sister. You can volunteer if you really want that. So even if your own kids don't have kids, I don't think that that's necessarily, I'll never have children in my life. Right.
Exactly.
Vilma says being a grandmother grows on you. I became a grandmother at 38. Long story. Now I'm just Nana.
I had my first baby at 38.
Well, yeah. My dad became a grandfather at, hold on. He had kids young with his first wife. And then his youngest daughter had children young. So, I mean, it's it doesn't matter the age as long as you can take care of them and love them. That's all that matters, right?
It's true.
And yes, Vilma, they better win in honor of my birthday, although Purdy might not be playing. And yeah, it's going to be a tough one. But you know what? I'm going to say this just real quickly about my Niners. I think it was more pressure when they were undefeated. Now they've lost a couple. I hope they don't keep losing it. None of them were division games. Not that it doesn't matter, but they weren't division games. And so I'm not worried. I'm faithful to the Bay. Okay, let's talk about Oakland. Now, Oakland has an idea on what to do about car break-ins. And as I was watching this, let me bring this up real quickly. As I was watching this, I kept thinking, well, okay, I understand the idea of using something like social media. I get it. You think that somebody's going to be monitoring it or what have you, but I have a much better idea, and it doesn't have anything to do with social media. And it's something that they've done in the past, and I just don't understand why they just don't do it at a higher scale. So here's a little bit of the report from ABC 7 News. Here we go.
On but by using social media. ABC 7 News reporter Unzer Hassan explains.
The Oakland Police Department has videos to show just how fast it is to break into a car, and the city has seen a spike in car break-ins.
This year alone, we've had 11,300 locked auto brokers in the city. That's a 36% increase from 2022.
OPD says it's been focused on tackling auto break-ins since May.
We've increased our violence suppression units to operate in the areas where the crime data shows that these crimes are being committed. We've also brought back our foot patrol units in the downtown area and deployed them where the businesses are mostly affected.
According to OPD's own numbers, it's working. Captain Casey Johnson says the Hagenberger Road corridor, where foot patrol officers have been working, and along 98th Avenue are areas in Oakland with the highest auto burglaries, in part because of the number of travelers and easy access to the freeways.
Since July, with the focus of our foot patrol officers and our dedicated overtime burglary suppression teams, we've seen a 50% reduction in weekly auto burglaries in these two locations alone.
But Interim Chief Assistant Jones says even more is being done. This weekend, OPD is launching a pilot program where people can report an auto burglary on Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter, by using the handle @OaklandAutoBurg.
But if you send that information to us immediately, we're going to have staff monitoring the platforms, and they'll be able to relay the intelligence or the information to our surveillance teams that we're going to have in the city.
Jones acknowledges that there are many unknowns as to how effective this program will be. Even just announcing it may deter crime this weekend. But he says the department is committed to thinking outside of the box.
Okay, so they're thinking outside of the box. Here's my thing. If you know what attracts auto thieves, do that with cops nearby. What happened to using bait cars? So this is the narrative I think that we're always given by police officers, okay? This is organized. It's a group of people that are very organized. They move very quickly, and it's very hard to catch them in real time. Okay, well, if you know what kind of cars they target, if you know they're looking in windows, put a couple bait cars there. Try to catch them as they're doing it. That's what I think is going to work. I'm sorry, but even if you post something on social media, the time between the posting, I saw it on the platform, and then the notifying, authorities in the area, it's gone, man. Like, there's no freaking way this is going to work. Now, do I think it's great to think outside the box and what have you? Okay. Bait cars, tons of them, blanket the city, make it so criminals don't know if it's a bait car. There are so many friggin' bait cars and cops nearby that are going to watch it happen that they don't want to approach any cars now. That, in my opinion, is going to work way better than trying to post things on social media. I mean, what do you think?
My problem is answer 911.
Well, they just are going to be. We were talking to Mayor Sheng Tao. They are investing. There's a bunch of city vacancies, and they're going to be hiring more dispatchers. But yeah, you need someone to answer the friggin' phone.
I mean, that's great that you're on social media. Oh, report your stolen car on social media. How about you have somebody answer the 911? I've called 911 before on the freeway.
Right.
When there was some drunk driver swerving around the roads. On hold, I sat for 15 minutes as I'm driving up the road.
Oh, no.
I'm like, thank God I'm not having a real emergency.
Right.
I mean, I hope the person doesn't hit anyone else, but it's not like I'm dying by the side of the road or anything. But but before you beef up and have a new system in place where people can report their emergencies over social media, why don't you actually have the systems that are in place function?
Yeah.
Like, when you're in Oakland and you call 911, you won't have to wait. Oh, I don't know. If shots are fired, police actually come right now because there's so few officers that they can't respond fast enough.
Yeah.
Why don't you fix that before you decide, let's post your stolen car on Snapchat, whatever.
Yeah, I just feel like social media, the time lag, it doesn't do any better, right? I mean, it's not going to do anything in real time. Now, bait cars, on the other hand, you have a bait car, you're watching said car, and yes, you hope that they don't break into the car right next to the bait car. But if they do, at least you're still there. Like, that's my thing, is you need to have so many of these cars that are so attractive to these criminals that they can't help themselves. And then you can get in there quickly. Now, do I know the logistics and how much manpower and all that kind of stuff goes into having a bait car and how long it takes to maybe trigger? But I don't know. If you look at the statistics from Oakland, it doesn't take too damn long for a car to get stolen, right?
They do it in seconds.
So we need to really figure that out. We need to be, even if we miss the bait car, they take the bag, have a tracker in it, have a tracker in some of the valuable things in it. So they don't want to toss it out the window and then we lose them. And none of these things seem like it's that expensive. If you're going to have foot patrols, increased foot patrols, which are a deterrent. I'm not saying they're not. If I see a cop and I'm a criminal, I'm going the other way, right? But you can't be everywhere at every moment, especially when you're so low staffed. I mean, Oakland, it's crazy how many vacancies there are for positions that support police work. And unless they get that, under control, I don't see anything getting better anytime soon. I just really don't. It is terrible. Antioch, they were saying they have 40 active officers at any given time with what? There's hundreds of thousands of people in that area. Criminals are looking at this being like, yeah, I can get away with anything. I can get away with anything. It's sad. It's absolutely sad. Thank you to Susan for the $20 donation. Happy birthday to you, Nikki. And to me next Monday, Scorpios Unite. Indeed.
Oh, a lot of birthdays coming up. Happy birthday, Susan.
Happy birthday. And thank you for everybody for wishing me a happy birthday. Doug says the Oakland airport's good. Jack London Square used to be cool. It's always nice to check out the docks. I mean, I haven't been to Oakland in forever. The last time I went to Oakland, I think was to see Chris Rock do stand up. Yeah, I think that was the last time. And that was what, last year, I think? And it's not, honestly, I'll be completely, it wasn't because of the crime. I don't want to go to Oakland. It's far from me. I don't go to Oakland all the time. I only go to San Francisco to work and tomorrow to go to the Red Jack Saloon. Sam says you can text 911 now. Easiest way when possible. Do you get a response, Sam? I've never tried texting 911.
I mean, if I got a canned response from the 911
We've
text,
got you covered. Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, is there really anybody there listening?
That's
to
what
me?
I would think. That's exactly what I would think. I'm like, okay, is this an Autobot that's making me feel good about it?
There's a man with a gun coming into my restaurant.
Yeah.
Thank you for contacting 911. We'll be right with you.
The last time I was driving and called 911, I was on my way to KGO. This was years ago. And there was a truck, not even kidding, a truck driving erratically on 280, right? And that always pisses me off when people are just making other people in danger just because you're an a-hole. And 280 was huge. It was like the middle of the day. It was like, I don't know, 2:00 in the afternoon or something. It was when I worked in the afternoons. And they were just like weaving. And so I got closer because I wanted to check out the license plate. And it was spray painted over. And the windshield was smashed.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, this guy needs to be pulled over
immediately.
Exactly. So I got on the horn and I called 911. And, it took a little bit of time, but not too much. And I was like, hey, there's this guy. He's driving erratically. His license plate's spray painted and the windshield is just smashed to hell. And they're like, okay, where are you? And like kind of doing the math of where that could be located. I would say within 5 minutes, there was a CHP officer coming up behind me, and I'm trying to help him out, flashing my emergency, over here,
right there,
over here. And yeah, I think they ended up pulling the guy over, but I didn't stay and watch. But yeah, it's just that's the last time I did it. Now, I would have loved if they would have called me back because they always ask for your phone number as if they're going to give you an update on the story that you like it's the reporter in me. I never got any update. I'm like, what if it was a murderer or something like that?
This is Nikki Medoro. I'd like a follow up on the
exactly
traffic stop on Highway Interstate 280 at 3:24 a.m.
Exactly. You want to help the cops out. Although this story, did you see this story real quickly before we go to the top? And this pisses me off. I'm sorry. If this was me, I would be suing up this police department so quickly their heads would spin. Hold on. Let me turn this off. Okay. An 8-year-old boy and his pregnant mother pulled over at gunpoint in Sacramento. An 8-year-old boy. Okay. Shanice Stewart is 9 months pregnant. Her son Brandon and her were stopped on October 17th on the highway after officers mistook 8-year-old Brandon for a juvenile with 2 felony warrants, including one for gun possession. They had their guns drawn on this 8-year-old boy. Brandon, the 8-year-old, got out of the vehicle afraid that his mother would be arrested or worse. He screamed and pleaded for her to come back to the car because she had gotten out with her hands up. The 8-year-old, not realizing the officers thought he was the suspect, approached them, frantically trying to explain that his mom was just taking him to football practice and hadn't done anything wrong.
Oh, no.
I want to show you a picture of this kid. I didn't save it, but here it is. You could see it on the screen. There he is. That's him. Okay. So it took officers way too long before they realized Brandon was not the suspect. The mom says
first of all, they're looking for a child suspect,
a juvenile. Well, I mean, I would assume a teenager, right?
This kid is 8.
Yeah. The suspect was a teenager. Brandon, a 3rd grader, 3'10", 56 pounds. He's a third
child. He's a little boy. Yeah.
The mom says, I was scared of him getting shot. You don't know what to expect, especially when it's multiple officers with their guns drawn toward the car.
What a
You just
scary
don't know.
situation. Yeah.
But not only that, it's what you're doing to this kid. According to the mom, Brandon is traumatized.
Yeah.
Every time they approach the highway, her son asks if they could take the street route instead. When he sees a police cruiser drive past the car, he reminds his mother to drive safely. He also only rides in the back seat of the car now where he feels safer. She says, I do keep repeating to him that all police officers are not bad. You can't just assume that. I don't want him to hate the law. As far as me, at any given moment, every time an officer gets behind me, I fear for my life. I'm scared, and he's scared. Apparently, the suspect is still at large, according to Sacramento police. I would sue this department so quick. You have traumatized not only me, but a little boy. Like, and you wonder why, certain people don't trust law enforcement. It's because all of a sudden you're going to draw your freaking weapon on me. That I've never looked down the barrel of a gun pointed at me, but I can only imagine what that would do to me if it happened.
So I know all kinds of things happen, that kids have guns nowadays, and that officers don't know when they're, looking at someone, what's going to happen from moment to moment. Right. But the minute the mom says in my case, I have a son who's 9.
Right.
Who looks probably 12. Like, he looks older. He's just always been a bigger child, taller, bigger child. And
Right.
so the minute the mom says he's 8, he's 9.
Yeah.
The officer should have completely treated the situation differently, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because you're not dealing with a teenager who can handle being, frisked and put up against the side of the car. You're talking about a child. And so the way you handle the situation should be a little more gentle. You can be paying attention and make sure that the kid isn't armed while also being a little gentler with it, can't you? I don't know.
Well, and again, you're pulling somebody over. What else, besides the fact that it's a boy in the car, matches who you're looking for? Why is having your gun, and I understand it's a dangerous job, but you signed up for it. And I say this all the time. I'm not trying to negate the danger of being a police officer. You chose to be one, which gives you a lot of power. Why are you drawing your guns on this pregnant woman and an 8-year-old boy? Like, what did they do that justified that? And this poor kid, 8-year-old kid, I just keep saying 8 because I remember when my kids were 8, and there's no freaking way I would want a gun drawn and pointed at them and them trying to protect me. He's 8 and he's trying to protect his pregnant mother. Like, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And I know I see some of the comments, they have immunity and blah, blah, blah. They should sue this department for everything they can get, because it's total BS.
No, I'm not even a really sue happy, litigious person in my nature,
No, in this case I am.
I think so. I think as a mom, I'm angry on their behalf.
Hell yeah. I'm so pissed.
My son would probably, and that kid knew what was going on. My son would probably be so confused as to what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's one of those things where don't question why people don't trust law enforcement, among certain, groups of people, right? Because stuff like this happens. And then you're supposed to say, oh, sorry, mistaken identity. Do you know that they're probably seeing that gun in their mind's eye forever? Like, do you understand what emotions that kid must have been going through? I know that life is not trauma-free. I'm not saying that. But this was something that they completely jumped the gun, no pun intended. And this kid has to live with it now. And then if he's ever angry at the police, that's not justified anymore. It's just, it gets me upset. And I think that the Sacramento Police Department should do something more about it. I mean, they should feel shame for what they've done to this family. It's awful. Lady Beatrice, thank you so much. Happy birthday, Nikki. Have an amazing day today. Have a Starbucks coffee on me. I will. And I'll take a picture of it just for you. I think I'm going to have a chai tea latte. That's what I like at Starbucks. I'm not a holiday drink girl. So the chai tea lattes aren't too sweet. Okay. Jefferson Graham is waiting in the wings. Let's do him first, and then we'll do some more headlines with Kim. Does that work? Okay, because I don't like to keep our friends waiting.
Yeah.
So let's welcome back, because he's He's been a jet setter. He's gone everywhere with his camera. Let's welcome our friend Jefferson Graham back. Hello, friend. How are you?
I'm good. I missed both of you so much.
Oh, well, now let us know. I'm going to play. You sent me a cool video that's going to be on your show on Saturday, correct?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hold on, make sure.
It's
there
the
it is.
first. It's the first 45 seconds. It's a teaser.
It's a teaser. Okay,
I'm finishing the edit now. It's a 30-minute video, but this is the open.
Okay, let me play it for people. Well, you've teased them enough, my friend. Here we go.
Walks TV, we're going to check out the best photo spots in one of the most picturesque places I've ever been to in my life. That would be Nova Scotia, Canada. Here we are in Nova Scotia, beginning our journey in the little small town of Yarmouth.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I've never been to Nova Scotia. Have you ever been to Nova Scotia, Kim?
Nope.
So why Nova Scotia, by the way?
Okay. Well, first of all, a friend of mine on Facebook posted a note that said Nova Scotia is twice as cool as New England and half as expensive, and more people should go there. And I said, hey, that sounds pretty good. I think I'll do that. And you know that October is the best time of the year to travel. And because the kids are back in the school, those of you with kids, you can't leave. But those of us whose kids have grown, we can leave. We can see fall colors. We can see cheaper hotel rates. And it's just a really nice time to travel. So I wanted to go somewhere great. I actually wanted to go back to the Western trip that I did in July with my wife and go to all the places we didn't go to. But she said, no, she wanted to do something different. So we did this New England tour. Finding a flight to Halifax in Nova Scotia was really hard, really expensive. But with
why is it hard? Is it just not a lot of flights go there?
Pricey, and you'll stay in Toronto for 4 hours with a layover. You'll stay in Calgary. Blah, blah, blah. So then I realized I could fly direct to Boston and drive to Maine, and that would take about 2 hours. And then we could just take a ferry from Maine right over there. So I had enough points for the both of us to fly to Boston for free.
Nice.
How's that sound?
That sounds perfect, right?
Direct.
Oh,
direct.
Nice.
So, so rented a car in Boston and drove to Freeport, Maine, which took us about 2 hours. Okay, kids, what's in Freeport? Do
no
we
idea.
know?
Some type of baseball museum?
No. It's the world headquarters for LL Bean.
Oh.
Yes.
It's a shopper's.
Now you're talking my language.
Right. It's a shopper's paradise, and the entire town is outlet malls. The LL Bean store is their flagship store. I think they have 5 of them. They're open 24 hours a day.
Really?
And the prices are really good, and I think the merchandise is terrific. And you can order stuff online, but you just don't know. I like to see it, feel it, put it on, and you get a much better idea. So $600 worth of clothes on our first visit. And
do we have pictures from LL Bean? Did you take any shots?
Yeah, but I don't have them here. I'll show them to you next week.
Yeah,
I'll show them to you next week. And then we took a ferry the next day from Bar. No, I'm sorry. We continued up the coast and went to Bar Harbor, which is the foot of the Acadia National Park. It's really wonderful. And then we took the ferry over to Nova Scotia. Bar Harbor, really expensive, really beautiful. And then we did the entire province, now Nova Scotia. I tried to give you a taste of Nova Scotia in that first 45 seconds. Now you saw the fiddles. So
I heard the fiddles, yes, too.
Yeah, you heard you saw them too. You're stepping back into another time and place, another world. It is, this place was not discovered, but it was. They had a lot of Scottish immigrants there, and the Scottish roots.
Your video felt very Scottish. Yeah.
And the roots are still there. They take their fiddle music really seriously. It's in every town. There's something called a ceilidh every night at the community center where they have tea and biscuits and people get up with the fiddles. They have concerts every day. Every pub has music. There's music in the streets. And I was in heaven. There was, there was a guy named Alan Lomax who in the 1930s went up and down the South recording the old bluesmen and women and for posterity so people would know. And I was going and recording all the fiddle players. So I just loved it.
That's all.
really
Now,
cool.
is Nova Scotia, what kind of population are we talking about? I
You're
can't imagine it's
talking,
big.
Okay, it's 1 million people, of which 500,000 live in this one city called Halifax.
Oh,
We
okay.
spent a few hours in Halifax, but we really were more interested in the small towns and meeting people with arms that could show off tattoos of lighthouses.
That's really, I saw that one and it looked like
Yeah.
it was the lighthouse and she might have been in it or there was a person in it or something
No,
like
that
that.
was Peggy. That was
Okay.
Peggy.
Okay.
So this is a town called Peggy's Cove. 29 people live there. And
I don't know if I
so-
could live in a town that small.
So this woman, Nicole, was our landlady at the Airbnb. She also owns the restaurant and the store and the food
Okay.
shop.
And she's the mayor. The mailman.
No, I don't know if they have a mayor, but my big question was 29 people, name them.
And they could,
And
right?
And she did, yes. She named
Yeah.
all 29.
And how,
Oh, how
I mean,
funny.
I'd be so fascinated of what it must be like to live in a town with 29 people. I mean, how do you date? Like, how do you,
You don't.
that's,
You don't.
they-
She just had a
how
kid.
many of you are related? Like,
No, she just had a kid, and so there's only 2 kids of the 29. Her kid is 2 months, and the other kid is 6 years. So that's a problem.
Oh, there's no play dates. Yeah.
No play dates. The other thing you have to know: imagine you go somewhere, and us in California can't imagine this, but you go somewhere that's only open from June to October, and the rest of the year is bear time, hibernation.
What do you mean?
I mean, they close up. The town is closed.
well,
Nova
where do they
Scotia's-
go?
Well, they stay home, but they work from June to October. That's it.
Well, how do they get food and do everything else?
money
If all
and
the stores
stuff.
are closed.
Well, the grocery store stays open.
Okay,
But
all
the tourism places are closed.
it's all done. Yeah.
The B&B that we stayed at is closed.
Mhm.
And
You said June to October?
yeah, maybe a little May, but yeah, basically that's it. And like I lived in Stockbridge, Massachusetts as a teenager, 15 to 19, and that was the same setup there. You work 7 days a week for 4 months and you made enough to live the rest of the year. And that's how they do it.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
I
Can
don't
you
I
imagine
don't
it?
know if I could live. I mean, do any of them leave for the rest of the year and go somewhere else or do they definitely stay there and just
Well, yeah, one couple I met in Lunenburg,
Mm.
Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, goes back to Vancouver for the winter, and then comes back for the summer.
and I'm
And-
assuming
but,
the
you know,
winter is
oh,
really harsh there.
they just bought a house for $300,000 that's on 5 acres, and it has, I think it's 6 bedrooms on 3 stories, and it's overlooking the water. How about that?
Wow. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know if I could live in a town that small. And for those that don't know, a
Ceilidh.
is a Scottish gathering with music and dancing. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yes,
really
it's-
nice.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was we saw 3 concerts in 2 days, and it started with Nova Scotia is New Scotland in Latin.
Mhm.
So it started with the B&B where the lady who runs the place told me she plays the guitar. Oh, and I have a fiddler upstairs, and then the fiddler comes down. She pulls out her fiddle. She pulls out the guitar. I played along with them as well, and that's how it started. Then we saw the fiddler at the pub. Then we saw this concert of 6 violin players, 2 guitar players, and a piano at the school. That was in the auditorium, and that was one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my life. So New Zealand, I'm sorry, I compare Nova Scotia to New Zealand because it's similar in that you're going back in time and it's just drop dead gorgeous. Drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
Anybody thinking of going should go next summer or next fall and think about a 2-weeker because we we gave about 9 days to it, and it was not enough time.
Really?
And
You would think that that'd be enough to see a place that's...
Yeah.
it's a big, big province, and it's worth exploring.
Nice. Could
Fun.
you live in a place like Nova Scotia long term, knowing that it's only open for like 5 months?
Well, remember, I live in Manhattan Beach, California, one of our iconic Southern California beach towns where it's 72 degrees every day, and I'm not leaving.
That's exactly what I was. I'm like, it sounds cold to me.
Yeah, 72. So, it's cold back. It wasn't cold when we were there. It did rain one day, but we got there at really optimum weather, fall leaves, all that stuff, great
Nice.
food. Yeah, it was really great. And yes, I shot everything on the iPhone and the Galaxy. And
you had a drone. I'm noticing that you had to have your drone with you, right? Of course.
Yes, I had the drone. I did a lot of drone shots of the lighthouse. I had so much fun going out into the water and then coming back in. That was a shot I always wanted to get. And I did time lapses of the Peggy's Point Lighthouse. And yeah.
The opening video is fantastic. I'm sure the actual show is going to be great.
Now you've included. You sent me a link of your newsletter. It has.
I
some
mentioned
pictures.
Nikki in the newsletter a few. I think it was last week.
No,
and you didn't notice that, did you?
I did not. I apologize, but I will now be looking for my name. I always look at your pictures. Do you want me to show some of the pictures from the latest one that you showed?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's one of our favorites that we've talked about before.
All right, so we have this, and this is that's a nice bridge shot.
Okay,
I love the angles.
Yeah, thank you. That's in between Maine and New Hampshire. I was staying in Kittery, which was on one side, and then Portsmouth was on the other.
Oh, okay.
And so the state line is in the middle of this bridge somewhere.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
I took this picture several different ways. And as I've said to Nikki, keep moving. Go low, go high, go center, go left, go right. And I had one of those great moments where there were no cars on the bridge, and I jumped out into the middle for the
look at
shot.
you causing accidents left and right.
Well, there were no cars coming.
Who's that guy with the camera in the middle of the road?
Well, yeah, exactly. All right, let's look at the next one here. There we go. Is this you moving around the
Yeah, so
the
that's
bridge?
an example of that's the shot if you didn't take the initiative or if you did.
Okay, there you go.
I'll take the one with the lines in the middle.
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Totally.
Ooh, that's a nice shot. That's pretty.
Yeah. And this is another one where it's not moving, but it's taking multiple angles. Now, as you continue, you're going to find the shot get better and better. So we started off with ultra wide, and then we go for wide, and that's a little better. And then
did I lose it?
and
Hold
then-
on. There we go. My
one
computer's
more
not. There we go. Here we go. Ooh,
Okay,
that's
now
nice.
it's getting better as we get closer. And
Better.
so I just kept moving and trial and error.
I love
and
that
there we
house.
go.
Look
yeah,
at that.
I love
Look at
that.
all those buoys. That's cool.
Yeah, that's the colors are just really cool on that.
Yeah, so that's telephoto, and that's shot on the iPhone 15 Pro Max with the city behind it and all those buoys, which every buoy is a different color. The colors in Nova Scotia are actually I wasn't in Nova Scotia at this point, but the colors in New England are amazing. And Kittery, Maine was a lot of fun. It's a place that most people have never heard of, and it was great. It was wonderful, even though I don't eat lobster and don't want to eat lobster, but my wife did. So she ate her lobster and I watched.
I'd eat your lobster. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
$35 for a lobster complete, $40 for a lobster roll. Can you make sense of that?
And is the lobster roll hot or cold?
The lobster roll is cold.
Yeah, I
the
don't like
lobster
cold.
is
It's
warm.
hot. Yeah, exactly.
We also went on a lobster boat in Maine, in Bar Harbor. I did a video on this and what it's like to go out with real fishermen, capturing the lobster. And you see a lobster like you've never seen it before when you go on one of these boat rides. It only cost me $40. I thought it was pretty affordable.
Nice.
And it was very, very interesting. They have like 10,000 eggs at the bottom of the lobster. The females.
Yeah. That's interesting.
They're busy. They do a lot of action there. And apparently when they lie on top of each other, they might eat the other person's arm. Very strange.
But doesn't it grow back? Are lobsters the ones that grow back, I think?
It's possible.
I
It's
think it
possible.
I think it might be possible. Exactly. Yeah. The lobster has had quite a flow up. It used to
But
be,
yeah,
poor
that
people
was in
food. Now it's
that was
fancy
in
food.
and that was in Bar Harbor, which the boat's already closed for the year. They are closed. But I think if anybody's watching in the Northeast, there's one last good weekend, and it's this weekend. To see the
Nice.
fall lovers, the fall leaves, and go into the businesses before they close.
And the lovers too.
And the
There you
lovers
go.
too.
And the
Because Maine
lovers.
is for lovers and haters, and New
Yeah.
Hampshire is for lovers and haters. And New Hampshire was gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so this Saturday you're going to be doing your show.
30 minutes long.
30
Yes.
minutes, and it's going to be all about your trip to New Hampshire,
And
Nova
where to get the
Scotia.
best photos in Nova Scotia, and we're going to go from one end of the province all the way around. It's also known for having the highest tides in the world, and
Oh, okay.
we go there to Truro, to the Bay of Fundy.
Nice. Okay, so check out Photo Walks TV on Saturday. Jefferson Graham, we always love having you on. We can't wait until your next trip and all of your photos. And also, you could follow his Substack. I like
JeffersonGraham.substack.com. On
There you go.
Saturday, I'm going to answer the question that I get all the time: iPhone or Galaxy? Which one should I get
It's
for
always
photos?
iPhone. It's because that's the one that I have. Jefferson Graham, thank you so much for coming on the show. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks
And
for having
great
me.
pictures.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Sue. Thank you. Yeah, that's fun. I don't know, Kim. I can't live in a town that small. I'm just saying, 29 people. There was more people in my kid's classroom at one point, I think. So
I know. I like this job he's created for himself, though, where,
Yeah.
you get to go on these big trips and see all these cool things in the world.
Yeah.
Love that.
You
I
know, you
feel
can
like,
do it.
honestly, the only time I'm ever going to see that cottage with all the cool buoys hanging off is because he went there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
like,
never see
thank
that in
you.
person, but
Well,
I got to
you
see it because he
can.
shared it with me.
But that whole thing about you can only really go for 5 months? That's insane.
That's really cool, though.
I would have
want
to
to go to
leave. I
Nova
can't-
Scotia now. He's
I'd be
inspired me.
To be a bear and hibernate for the half of the year. That's I think I might go nuts. I think I might go a little nuts. Okay. Let's do some headlines. And then when we come back, I'll tell you what we're going to talk about after. I'm going to talk about, I'm 45 years old. We were talking about today. We were talking about how old do you feel? I'm going to show you this video. I was cracking up about this young woman who has just discovered what it's like to truly be an adult. And she was very, very upset about it. And for a valid reason that I think we've talked about many times on the show. And that is understanding that you are caught in the rat race that is the 9-to-5 job. So I'll play that for you. We'll get going, but let's do some headlines first.
Now, from around the world to up your street, the Nikki Medoro Show presents News Czar Kim McAllister.
On the Nikki Medoro Show, we'll start with Donald Trump. They have the trial underway in New York, the fraud trial. And yesterday, Michael Cohen was back on the stand. That's Trump's former
is so
lawyer,
funny to watch.
longtime fixer. He accused the former president of violating his gag order for the second time and then lying about violating the gag order under oath. That would be a penalty that if found guilty, would cost someone 7 years of their life behind bars.
But Trump
Cohen-
gets away with all sorts of
course.
things.
Cohen testifying against Trump for a second day Wednesday during this trial where his two eldest sons, Trump himself, and executives within the Trump organization stand accused of falsely inflating Trump's net worth to get more favorable loan terms. Trump, of course, denying any wrongdoing. But yeah, Cohen says he lied on the stand. That's 7 years. Busted.
Yeah. And he also got fined $10,000 twice.
Mhm.
He's just... The thing is, the punishments have to get worse, and I really hope that the judge, if he violates it again, which he will, it's like the next time you do it, there should be a warning. The next time you do it, you're going to jail. I'm giving you this warning now. You do not have to talk. You can walk out those doors and keep walking to your car and go home. If you talk to the press, you will go to jail. And if it's that clear and he still does it, he needs to go to jail. Please give me this moment. He's gonna violate the gag order again.
He can't help
You
himself.
know it,
He's
and
already done it twice. He's already, as you say, he's been fined 2 times. The judge penalized Trump with a $10,000 fine, believing that Trump lied under oath when he claimed his hallway remarks were about Cohen, not someone else. The judge said Trump's comments were a blatant violation of his gag order, saying the former president was referring to his clerk in the hallway, not buying what you're selling, 10 grand for you. Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. Everyone knows. I love the fact that we have judges that are like, well, I'm not falling for your BS. I don't care. And I would also say this if I was a judge, not that I am, but I would say, I see here that you have aspirations to run for president again. That job does require you to follow the law. The law states this. I would hope that somebody that wants to be the leader of the free world knows that they need to follow the law. If you cannot do that, then by law, you're going to jail. Send his ass to jail. Come on.
Speaking of Trump, lawsuit is going forward that's seeking to keep the former president off the 2024 ballot in Colorado. Trump tried to throw it out, but get it thrown out. But a Colorado judge rejected the attempt. Trump argued that ballot eligibility is based on Congress, not the courts. The judge ruled otherwise. The lawsuit argues that Trump shouldn't be eligible for the ballot based on the 14th Amendment, forbidding insurrectionists from holding public office.
You would think.
Liberal government watchdog group brought about the suit. The trial set to begin October 30th. I'm telling you, there's Trump trials everywhere.
Exactly. I mean, he just can't get away from it. And he's like, they're going to prevent. I mean, this could start really soon. All of between Georgia and everything going on. The Republican Party, I know, is infamous for, not doing anything until it's too late or, being caught with their pants down. But this Republican Party needs to figure out who they're going to throw their support behind if and when Trump's ass is in jail or prison. And I understand that apparently there's nothing in the Constitution that can stop you from being president and in prison, but give me a freaking break over here. Like, if that actually happens, I never like to say I'm going to leave this country, but if we literally have a president that's in prison and that we don't stop that from happening, I've lost hope for this country. 100%. 100%.
Back to Maine, where police continue searching for this suspected shooter. 18 people killed, 13 others injured in the town of Lewiston, Maine, when a shooter opened fire inside of a bowling alley and then a bar as well last night. 3 of the injured are reported to be in critical condition. President Biden speaking on this as well. He is urging congressional Republicans to work with Democrats and pass gun reform legislation following this shooting in Maine. In a statement, President Biden called for universal background checks, a ban on assault weapons, and an end to immunity from liability for gun manufacturers. He added that he has directed his administration to provide officials in Lewiston, Maine with everything they might need. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel is preparing for a ground invasion of Gaza. Netanyahu made the statement yesterday in a televised speech, says he won't elaborate on when or how many of the ground troops will be going in. About 360,000 Israeli reservists are at the border with Gaza awaiting orders right now. New York Democrat Jamal Bowman pleading guilty to a misdemeanor charge after pulling a fire alarm in a Capitol building. Have you heard about this one? Bowman is entering his plea in D.C. Superior Court this morning as part of an agreement with prosecutors. He'll have to pay a $1,000 fine, write an apology letter to Capitol Police. Prosecutors in return will dismiss the charge in 3 months. There's video of him. He's apparently trying to get to the House for a vote. And he said this doorway that he usually goes through was locked with a little sign that said,
emergency exit.
Right. Push this button and all hell breaks loose, whatever. And so he kind of looks
that's
around
what it should say.
and he pushes it and the alarms go off and he walks away and he walks past the Capitol Police, doesn't say, my bad, I did that, I'm sorry.
My bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he doesn't do that. He just keeps on walking because he's trying to get there for a vote.
I will say this though, and you're reminding me, he did say, he's like, yeah, I did it. It was a mistake. I've owned up for it. I'm paying the fine. And he's like, that's what you're supposed to do when you do something wrong. And that's absolutely, do I think we need to hang the guy? Is there some question of the timing of the whole thing, of course, because of the vote and yada, yada, yada. But at least we have a politician that when caught red-handed admits, yes, that is me, versus the former president who could literally be doing it. He's literally doing it. And everyone's like, yeah, but maybe he just didn't mean it. This is what I meant. Stop.
Yeah, I agree. Domino's giving away free pizzas to people paying, but you have to be a person paying off your student loan. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't have any student loans.
No. The Emergency Pizzas for Student Loans program is an offshoot of the restaurant's existing Emergency Pizzas initiative. Starting October 25th, the chain is providing a limited number of free pizza codes until $1 million worth of codes have been claimed. Again, their pizzas are for people paying off their student loans.
I ate my weight in Domino's Pizza in college. My freshman year in college, I went to Chico State and I stayed at Craig Hall. And right at the end of the block of Craig Hall, there was a Domino's Pizza. I ate so much Domino's Pizza. I mean, and I will tell you, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad pizza. Yeah. It's not my favorite, but it's not Pizza Hut. I can't stand Pizza Hut. But yeah, my best friend Angel and I were just... so
Freshman 15 for you.
Oh yeah, it was that corner at the end of the block had a 7-Eleven and a Domino's Pizza and an ATM where I would constantly be taking out money off my emergency credit card that my dad gave me. Yeah, the first time I went home, he cut that thing up so quickly. He's
Talk about a pizza emergency.
I was like, but I was starving.
So lastly, Houston Astros manager Dusty Baker is retiring.
Yeah.
Baker enjoyed a 26-year career as a big league manager, his career highlighted by a World Series win last season. The Astros came close again this season, losing to the Texas Rangers in the American League Championship Series. Baker is only the 12th manager to reach 2,000 wins. He was the first black man to reach that milestone. He has also managed the San Francisco Giants, the Chicago Cubs, the Cincinnati Reds, and the Washington Nationals. So, Dusty Baker. Yeah, congratulations. Happy retirement.
On a
I'll
long
always
career.
think of him as a giant, you know?
Exactly. I mean, that's nice. Congrats.
Yeah. This report is crowdfunded, sponsored by you, which means we do rely on you to help us support the show. The NikkiMedoroShow.com is the website. Please find the Patreon and PayPal links on the link.
Yep.
I'm Kim McAllister. This is the happy birthday edition of the 45-year-old not show. The show's only 1 year old, but she's 45. Nikki Medoro Show.
Yes,
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Let me give some more thank yous, and I'll give some more at the end as well. Mimi is the latest, gave it $15. Happy birthday, Nikki. Hope to see you tomorrow. Lori, $45 for my 45th birthday. Happy birthday, Nikki. We can't wait to meet you, and hopefully some adorables tomorrow. 45 for 45.
That's
I love
so
you.
Sweet,
Lori, I am so excited to step foot in the Red Jack Saloon tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've just shown that picture so many times. And Lori, you've sent me some pictures as well of you and Adam Copeland and everyone. But yeah, I'm just really excited to go there. There it is. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to take a picture in front of that sign so we can also throw that up tomorrow. But yeah, I'll be there tomorrow evening. Sasha is the winner. Sasha's going to be there. She's going to get her box. We'll have a couple Medoro Mules or Kimikazes if you like it, or the Martini if that's your... I, of course, am going to be having my cocktail. But yeah, I'm really excited. So again, you guys, it's going to be tomorrow, Friday evening. I'm thinking around 6:30-ish is when Sasha said she'd be available. So 6:30, 7 o'clock, sometime around there. It's a bar, so come on by. And yeah, my husband's going to join us. So if you've ever wondered about the guy that I constantly talk about on this show, and you can ask him all sorts of questions. He may or may not answer. But yeah, if anybody's going to be there, come say hi. Please introduce yourself in the way you are on YouTube. So I recognize you. Gary D. Happy birthday, Nikki, from Sandy and Gary D with a $20 donation. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You're making a 45-year-old seem like she's 25, because that's how it is in my brain. Okay. Speaking of, realizing that, you are an adult, even though you don't feel like an adult. This girl's gone viral with this TikTok video that she made. And I've never related to something so much. Kim, you are going to so relate to this chick. I love, first off, that she starts off this video. Oh, thank you, Amy, for the $5 super sticker. She starts off, she's so teary-eyed. And then she just lays out a scenario that I would be hard-pressed to find that everyone's gone through. Everyone has gone through this where you are like, oh no, this is my life. And I'm not laughing at her. I feel her so much. So let me play you the video first. And then you guys tell me, did any of you kind of have this moment in your life where you're like, this is it. This is what it means to be an adult. And I just don't like it. So here we go.
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying, but this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person, and I'm commuting in the city, and it takes me fucking forever to get there. There's no way I'm going to be able to afford living in the city right now, so that's off the table. Like, fucking duh! If I was able to walk to work, it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, like, I leave here, like, I get on the train at 7:30, and I don't get home till, like, 6:15 earliest, and then, like, I don't have time to do anything. I want to shower, eat my dinner, and go to sleep. I don't have time or energy to cook my dinner either. Like, I don't have energy to work out. Like, that's out the window. Like, I'm so upset. Oh my God. Nothing to do with my job at all, but just like the 9-to-5 schedule in general is crazy. Being in the office 9 to 5, like if it was remote, you get off at 5 and you're home and everything's fine. But like, I'm not home. It takes me long to get home, and like people that drive to the office, like you don't get off at 5. And I know it could be worse. I know I could be working longer, but like I literally get off, it's pitch black. Like I don't have energy. How do you have friends? Like how do you have time to like meet like a guy? I don't know. Like how do you have time for like dating? Like I don't have time for anything, and I'm like so stressed out. And I'm also getting my period. So that's why I'm all emotional. But like, am I so dramatic? It's fine.
I feel like if I was her mother, I would be dying laughing. I'd be like, and welcome to adulthood. Like, and I don't mean to like be flippant about it.
That's funny.
But it's like she's finally, it's one of those, you could see that there was this, she's probably sitting in the car on her way home.
What's
and
her
just
name?
Like,
Do you know her name?
Oh, hold on. I know her name. Brielle.
Yes, Brielle. That's how people live.
Yes.
Yes,
and
Brielle.
she's like, oh
That's
my, she's
called a
looking next
full-time
to
job.
people. Yes. She's probably sitting in traffic. I had that moment where you're sitting in traffic, but when I was young, probably her age, and you're stuck in commute, and then you know you got to do it again tomorrow. And you're like, shit. Like this
Jenny's like, it sucks, baby girl.
Yeah.
We get you. We totally understand.
But it was so innocent. Like she's like, wait a minute, I gotta get up at 7, and then I'm off at 5, but I'm not home at 5. And it's like, yeah, she had time for putting on her makeup. I know she's young. She ain't gonna do no TikTok without makeup on.
This is, I mean, she's just realized what the daily grind means, right? Yes, you get home, you can barely eat dinner before you feel like you have to go to bed. And guess what? Then it happens all over again.
You're like, I go home, I eat, I shower, and I go to bed. And that's my life. Yes. And then wait until you add children, right? And then, it's really, I just felt for her. I wanted to hug her, but then I was imagining, Kim, that's going to be our children in a very short amount of time where they're going to graduate college and they're going to get their first job, maybe even during college. Like, but I feel like college, you're still kind of like a kid. And then you realize like, this is just my life. There's no summer breaks. There's no, nobody's going to, just let you sleep in until 11 o'clock and do your laundry for you. Like you're going to be an adult. And it's something that I feel young people want to rush to so quickly, not realizing like enjoy this time. I tell Marley all the time, I go, get more extracurricular activities, not because I want to stress you out, but because you will be quite limited on what you can do just for fun when you become an adult. It's just you run out of time. You're tired, you're achy, you got stuff to do. No one else is going to do it. No one's going to go grocery shopping for you, child. I go grocery shopping for you. You wake up and you're like, I was out of toilet paper yesterday, and then I woke up this morning and toilet paper. Like no one's going to do that for you in a very short amount of years. So
no, Sandy says some people come home, go to work in the dark, and they come home in the dark.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder though, and I've heard it said of these kids, this up and coming generation,
right?
Because we're so old now, that that they're going to fight back against the traditional work week and the traditional hours, and that you'll see things changing. And, these are people that are going to fight against the going back to the office, and they'll quit their job if it doesn't make them happy. And so it's a whole different mindset, where for me, it's like, wait a minute, I'm lucky to have a job, so I'm going to haul ass there and I'm going to do the best I can. You know what I mean? So it's just different. But I wonder if we're coddling our kids too much,
like if that she shouldn't be so shocked. I mean, I don't know if we're coddling them.
I do her laundry and then fold it, and I leave it in a little pile. Everyone has their own little pile, and they have to take it back to their room.
Well, do they know how to do their own laundry?
Well, yeah, Julia does. But half the time it feels like they can't even take their pile back to their room.
Oh, no, but my husband can't take his pile back to his room.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is true.
again, remember the laundry that I was bitching about that's behind me? Yeah, I think it's still there. We just add to it. We fold it and then it sits there. I refuse to do what you do. I do not bring laundry. I mean, sometimes I do if I'm just done looking at it on the couch. But I'm like, yo, there are clothes that are clean and nuggets jumping all over them, which you want to smell like dog, knock yourself out. I don't. I put my clothes away. But yeah, you have to instill in children life skills that, and I get it. And I don't totally, because I'm not this type of parent, but I get some parents that are like, look, I want my kid's number one job to be school. If they're in a sport or some sort of extracurricular, like you only have a short amount of time to do those things. And I don't want to, burden them with household chores or making them do their own laundry. Not me. Believe me, when even this morning, when I woke up from on my birthday, I wanted to take a shower. I did not even leave my room to get a cup of coffee before I took the shower, because then the ball rolls of me having to do crap. I was laying in bed and I was, getting my head together, saying my thank yous. And I heard like this banging. So I had to take out my earplugs, and it was Dylan in the kitchen making his breakfast, which he does. He wakes himself up so early in the morning so that he can have a full breakfast, because the kid loves breakfast. The day he started doing that was a very long time ago. Like my kids, the day that they were able to, one, turn on the television by themselves without having to wake me up, make coffee for me. That was another great day. Make their own food. Dylan makes his own dinner sometimes. Like, it's a fend for yourself kind of day, dude. Like, I was like, there's leftovers or there's food, but mom's got to work or I've got to do something. So you're gonna have to fend for yourself today. And some days he looks at me like, I don't want to fend for myself. I'm like, well, then starve. I don't know. There's cereal and milk. I don't know what to tell you, but I try to do this, not a lot, but because I'm not always going to be there.
Yeah, that's true.
I want to raise my child to be able to, and I literally had
be
this
independent.
To be independent. Wake yourself up. Get there on time. Yesterday, I'm waiting for my daughter at tutoring, and I get a notice on my phone that she was tardy to her first period. Now, I was in San Francisco. My husband had to go into work late so he could take my daughter to school. So I text them both. I go, why were we tardy? And my husband, of course, is like, she was in the parking lot, which is across the street, which is at 8:25. That's too late. Okay, she starts at 8:30. And so Marley gets in the car after 2, and I'm like, why were you tardy? And she's like, it was Dad's fault. And I go, why was it Dad's fault? And she's like, he didn't leave until late. And blah, blah, blah. So, I'm having this conversation with both of them. He's like, I was at the table at 7:55 saying, let's go. But he's also trying to work from home, like because he was going in late, right? So obviously not totally focused on leaving the house early. And so I looked at my daughter. I'm like, you know what time you have to leave the house. Yeah. We do it every single day. And on the days that one of your friends takes you, you're ready when she's at the front door. So do not tell me that you don't know how and what time to get out of the house, and don't blame your dad, because at some point you're going to have to get somewhere on time. And so it's on you. Like, you cannot be tardy again. It's on you. You have to put the onus on the kids. Otherwise, you are going to raise someone that's always late, that needs to be coddled, like Kim said. I mean, you need to be able to raise children that can do their own laundry, cook their own, food, empty the dishwasher, know when the dishwasher needs to be run. Randy says, what was this person's high school experience like? Was going to high school and doing homework every night an issue as well? I don't know. But and Randy, of course, is talking about the young lady who realized that the 9 to 5 sucks so bad. Trevor says, my kids started doing their own laundry when they were 10. Yeah, so my son's 12, and I would say probably 10 or 11 is when I taught them how to do their laundry. I didn't want them to ruin their clothes either, right? Like, it's like, okay. And I want that also to be clean. My daughter, one time, I think I've shared this before, and she hates it when I share this. One time, she forgot the soap. So I keep reminding her to put the soap in. She's like, one time. I was like, well, that mattered. When you open up the laundry and it still stinks. Yeah, don't forget the soap. And I wasted all that water, so don't do that again. Mike says that, to feel for that girl, I still remember having the same moment. I look back on that moment at age 61 and realize, well, damn, I was right. Now, here's a question for you, though. Like, Kim, you were mentioning this new generation, they really are kind of trying to push back on this traditional 9 to 5. And of course, they're getting pushed back from those that are actually in charge, who want more control, who want you in the office. Do you think there's ever going to be, because I'm of the thinking, look, if COVID couldn't permanently change, I mean, yes, they're still remote, they're still hybrid and stuff like that, but it's not universal right now. If COVID could do it, I don't know. I think a generation will have to die off, not to be too morbid about it, before this would actually even become regular, where people don't have to do the 9 to 5 grind. I just don't.
So I was reading a story about Jamie Dimon, who is the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, I think is where he works.
Okay.
And he was interviewed, and he was talking about how the next generation is going to be completely different from this one. And because of technology and the advent of AI, that people are going to be going down to 3-day work weeks, is what he said.
Oh, interesting.
So if technology makes our jobs easier, and we still have to be paid because they can't collapse the economy completely, right? So maybe it will be that technology makes it so that future generations won't have a 5-day work week grind.
If we still get paid, but then we live in a capitalistic society. So if we're a business and we only have someone coming in 3 days a week, why do I have to pay them a salary for when they were working 5 days a week? That's the problem with the capitalistic society is it doesn't give a crap if technology made your job easier. If it makes your job easier, you get paid less, right? Because I want to save more money. Now, hopefully we have a fundamental change in how we think about things like that. But people, even to this day, don't understand basic math when it comes to paying people enough.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how many societies, how many communities fight back about raising the minimum wage and yet still want servers and car wash attendants and, all these people that you don't want to pay anymore, yet you still want to exist, right? Otherwise, they're just going to be replaced by robots, and everybody doesn't want that either. So we need a fundamental change in the value we place on human time. And we're very far, in my opinion, from that. Montreal says, what happened to the 4-day work week that was being talked about? I mean, hybrid is...
I've still heard some companies are doing that. I think that's a slow rollout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Capitalism is not compatible with technology. Exactly. Exactly. Because, and people always say, I don't mean to be a Luddite. And I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about that. And a Luddite, of course, is someone that the stereotype is they don't like technology. But what it truly was they didn't want to be replaced by technology. They saw what was coming, like what actors and auto workers are saying, like, wait a minute, you can have a robot do my job. I still need a job. I still need to get paid. And so it's not that I'm against technology. I'm against technology replacing me.
Well, think about how society would collapse.
Yes.
So eventually we're all going to die out, and a bunch of people that don't get willed homes or inherit homes are going to have to buy them. But if there's nobody with the money to buy the homes, the real estate market collapses. The job market, I don't know. There's just so many things to think about. You have to pay people even if they're not doing as much work as they once did. Well, otherwise, everything, the whole system we've set up our world to work is not going to function.
Unless you want the government, which I'll just say it, if you really want a true socialist where the government provides you everything. Everyone gets the same house. Everyone gets the same car, right? I mean, which isn't the society that we live in, right? We live in a society where we believe the harder you work, the more you should make. But we don't think that universally, of course. We don't think that universally. I mean, because I would say a server at a restaurant works extremely freaking hard. And yet people do not put the monetary value on that hard work as they would an engineer who may physically not work as hard, but mentally may. So it's a effed up system, and that
Yeah.
Brielle has woken up to it. I remember after I
Brielle.
had
Poor Brielle.
poor Brielle. But after I had Dylan, I worked at KGO. I got hired at KGO. I started 3 months after Dylan was born. And then, I did it for a few months, and then they moved me to the evenings. And I remember how depressed I was. I mean, I started like at 3:00 in the afternoon. So I had to leave like 1:45-ish, right, from San Jose. And my kids were going to preschool, or my daughter was going, pardon, not Dylan, but my daughter was going to preschool. And all of a sudden I realized that when I dropped her off, I wouldn't see her till the next morning.
Yep.
And I remember going into my boss at the time and asking to be moved, actually to become a reporter again, to work in the South Bay. And he didn't need another South Bay reporter. He's like, no, I need you in the evenings. And I remember I was bawling walking down the hall. And I realized this is what I signed on to.
Yep.
And I didn't like it. And I did it, and it broke me many, many times. I felt like I was missing so much. And it's hard. It's a hard freaking balance.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah.
You do what you have to do, right?
You do what you have to do. And that's the whole thing with doing this show and liking doing the show and work. And yes, while I do work part-time at KCBS and I love it, I really do. We just moved to our new building.
How is it? Is it nice?
They just started at 10:00 airing. So if you listen to case, not that you should right now because we're doing a show, but starting now, they're at the new digs. It's so nice. They have this board that is so high tech. Okay, this is the coolest thing about the board, because at KC we didn't have to work a board at KGO, but at KCBS everybody works the board.
We just had to crack a mic and talk,
and so we didn't care about moves.
Karen was doing the real work.
Oh yeah,
right?
This move is stressing me out because it impacts me now. Besides turning on a microphone, in some fancy schmancy cars where you could press a button and it adjusts to the driver, like all the presets that the driver likes, how the car is, the rate, whatever. The board does that. So even if the weekend people, the weekend people came and messed up the board.
Yeah.
You hit 2 buttons and it goes and everything is in the right spot that it's supposed to be.
Oh,
it's really freaking cool. There's a couple of things. There's going to be a learning curve. I have to work on Monday. But that's the only day next week that I'm gone on Monday. But yeah, but I have to do it. So me and another person are going to be splitting time on the board. So it might be a cluster. I don't know. But we keep being told
really
it's
nice.
okay. It looks nice. It's definitely, the moves. There is stuff that's so not done and it's not going to be done. And they're building the plane while they're flying it kind of thing. But the boards are done. And so it's going to be a good time. But again, I like the fact that I'm part-time there and I get to continue to do this show, because it gives me the freedom to see my kids more. And even though they're older, there's a lot of things I need to be here for. And I'm glad that I can be in many cases.
Vicky and Sausalito hitting the nail on the head, telling Eric, men can work full-time and be done. For women, especially mothers, the clock starts up again when she gets home and it's the second shift. Yep. Yeah.
And it's not only that, what I've been finding more, and it's also, I think, my age and the news and everything. It's the mental load. It's not just the physical. My husband helps. He does. It's not helping. He carries the load here as well. I always wonder, and you can't be in somebody else's mind, of course, but the things that I worry about and keep me up at night, it's like, there's that old saying. It's like, I don't think my kids value how much sleep I lost last night, like thinking of them and thinking of the things that they have to remember. And, I have to email that teacher, or, even though I'm not physically working, I'm laying in my bed next to my husband. I still feel like I'm working. I'm like, I'm going over the checklist. I'm checking it twice, and there's no pay for that. There's no value that's placed in that. It's just what we do, and it's hard and it's draining.
Randy says that's a little sexist. I worked, then came home and shared childcare and home tasks with my wife. Awesome, Randy. And you know what? My husband does too, but there's still that moment when, and we both work from home now, so it's a little bit different, and he does so much. But there's still that moment where you've been taking care of the kids all day, and the husband or spouse will come home, and it's not like, oh, okay, I get to be off now. I'm going to go back into my bedroom and take a nap or read a book. No, you're always on.
Yeah.
Right? And they come home and they come into it and they think it looks like everything's taken care of, so I get to go relax. It's a dynamic.
I mean, and again, it's one of those things, and you hear it all the time where, your spouse or partner or whatever may say, just let me know what you need. It's like, I don't,
Right.
and I've said this to my husband for years, I don't need to have eyes for you. Like,
yeah.
if there's laundry in the laundry room, why do I have to tell you to do it? You see it, I see it. But they also did a scientific study that women see like dirt and messes more than men do. I don't know if it was men that did this study, but yeah, it's something about like it actually had to do more with perception of a room. Like the women look at, for instance, a woman will notice things about other women individually, like her sweater, her shoes, her lipstick. A guy will just look at the woman in its entirety. So a guy, for instance, might look at a messy to a woman room and they're like, it looks okay. But a woman will see the dust bunny in the corner and the clothes on the thing. You know what I'm saying? So we notice the individual things that need to be done. And a man is apparently, although I still think a man did the study, it's like, that's okay, guys. We don't look at it as closely as women do. But they look at in its entirety and don't nitpick all of those little things.
So see, if there's things left on the counter, like you go up and you take the oil, the cooking oil or the olive oil, and then you leave it on the counter and don't put it back in.
Right.
I'm thinking that's messy. Put your stuff back, right?
Yeah.
Everything has a place.
Put it back in the place. Yeah.
Put it back where it goes.
I hate when I clean the entire counter off in the kitchen and I feel such satisfaction. That one bothers me. I should not get any satisfaction from a clean kitchen counter, but I do. And then everybody comes home and everybody puts all their crap on the counter. And I'm like, yo, did you guys not notice my masterpiece right here? I spent time cleaning this counter.
No clutter.
Like, keep your crap off. Put your crap in your room. But then I'll just notice it there.
And what happens when you see a purple band sweatshirt that the kid needs for band the very next day that needs to be washed and it's crumpled and dirty in the laundry, and you're like, well, I could wait. They're gonna panic tomorrow and not gonna have that band sweatshirt.
Exactly.
Do you wash it or do you just leave it there? There's always something. There's always some work to be done. I'm not
that
saying
laundry basket is wrinkled clothes, and I know the kids are gonna be like, it's wrinkled. I'm like, well, you should have folded it and put it away then.
I think we're just bitching now, but it is true. And for all the men that are saying they stepped up, you guys are awesome. And I think a lot of men do, but
it's not stepping up. You live in the house. You do crap around the house.
Yeah,
it's not helping.
It's like saying men babysit their own children. No, they don't.
Yeah,
no.
Exactly.
Men
and you're not a good dad just because you go to the
women
park.
Right. It's true.
And
we know you guys do it. We know you guys do it.
Exactly. Yeah. And my husband is an excellent father and husband. He is.
Yeah.
But I do feel like men get so many gold stickers for crap we do every day. Nobody noticed.
Because it's expected.
Exactly.
I want my gold sticker. You know what you get? I'll tell you what you get from Janet.
I was just about to do it. I want to give all kinds of thank yous. It is my birthday. I love you guys. Janet, $45 and a happy birthday. Hope you are spoiled on your special day. So my parents are going to take me out for lunch, and then my husband has something planned for dinner. So I'm not supposed to eat too much at lunch is what he told me.
Ooh.
And so I feel like we're going somewhere with a lot of meat. Usually when he tells me not to eat a lot, I'm eating a steak. So, or something of the sort.
Did I tell you I met Janet?
You did?
I did. She had a stop in Petaluma, so I met her in a parking lot. Just for a quick hug and a hello. It was very fun. Yeah,
I'm
it
jealous.
was awesome.
Janet, are you going to go to the Red Jack Saloon tomorrow night? So I'd love to meet you as well. Joe Fong with a $20 super sticker. Thank you, Joe. You're so awesome. We got Beth who came in with a $20 and a happy birthday to me.
Beth.
You guys are really
Nice.
generous today.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. John, $10 super sticker. Thank you. And let's just do all of them because you guys were so generous. I want to give you love back. SJ Lola with a $25 donation. Thank you. Amy P, $5 super sticker.
Yeah.
And then Gary D, I'm kind of rhyming, with a $20 happy birthday message to me. Lori, I will see you tomorrow. And thank you for my 45th birthday. Mimi with $15 and looks like you're going to be at the Red Jack Saloon tomorrow. So thank you. Lady Beatrice, love you. I'm going to have a chai tea. I'm going to go get it right now. Thank you so much for that. Susan with a $20 and a fellow Scorpio. Happy birthday. Early birthday because it's on Monday. JR, see you at the saloon with another 45 for my $1.45. Thank you. Thank you. Sam, I expect to see your face out there tomorrow as well. Thank you so much for the $20 donation. Murphy, love you, girl. She's like my neighbor. She's not too far away from me. Thank you so much for the $20 donation. Jim, love seeing you in the chat. Thanks for the $5 sticker, as well as Spencer for the $5 sticker. Harry, it's not my 29th, but thank you. I love that. I love the emotion for my Medoro mule that I will be having tomorrow as well. Trevor can't make it because he's all the way down in LA, but thank you for the $25 donation. Vicky with a donation. Oh, and we were doing some thank yous and
Feliz
happy birthdays.
cumpleaños.
Feliz cumpleaños. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Brian with an $18 donation and a happy birthday. And again, I'm not going to pronounce it, but thank you for the happy birthday in Hebrew. Pamela, who's not going to be able to come out to the saloon because she's going on vacation. And so, Pamela, you have to tell us how your vacation is when you get back. And then Joanne started us off with that $5 donation. You
And
guys
there's
are
a couple
awesome.
more. I have this one from Scott that just came in.
Scott, thank you so much for the
Really,
donation
really
and happy
nice.
birthday.
And
And
Carmela.
Carmela. Ooh, beautiful name. Thank you for the $20 super sticker. And Debbie, it's your dad's birthday too. Happy birthday to your dad. Thank you for the $10 donation. Is that all of them? I really appreciate you
that's
guys. You spoiled me on my birthday. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'll be here tomorrow. We're going to have our Fun Friday show. I'm going to take pictures of my food that I take for my birthday and share them tomorrow. And thank you for the message, and you have a great day as well.
Happy birthday,
and then
my
tomorrow,
friend. I'm really glad. I'm really glad you were born.
I'm glad that you're here too, even though
Our
it's not
lives,
your birthday.
my life is better because you're in it. Happy
Aw,
birthday.
What's that? That's a song. My life would suck without you, Kelly Clarkson. My life
Oh,
would
is it?
suck without you.
Okay, yes. My life would suck without you.
Thank you, guys. I will see you guys on the show tomorrow and tomorrow night at the Red Jack Saloon, probably in the 6-7 o'clock hours, what I'm aiming for, but I'll get more details tomorrow. I love you guys. Stay for Mark Thompson, and then, of course, the after party live. Love you. Thank you so much. Mwah. Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're sprout, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.